Our Jason Lockett-Four reporting that Sean Payton is stepping aside from the Saints, not retiring at this point, but taking a break from coaching. Going to be a lot of teams who would love to have him as a coach, but they would have to give the Saints some compensation, likely draft compensation, and maybe even a first-round pick if they want him to coach this season. He's under contract for another 3 years. There are also networks very interested in Sean Payton's services as an analyst as well. So he is going to be a hot commodity, but stepping aside for now. Bryant McFadden was on with us about 8 days ago. We were talking about the Bears head coaching vacancy, and he looked into the future.
A name that's one of the more respected coaches in the National Football League, a guy who has won a championship, one of the best play callers in the game. The best ideal fit for the Chicago Bears is Sean Payton. Yes, Sean Payton, currently the New Orleans Saints head coach. Sean Payton. I believe, I don't know what my gut is telling me, Amanda, I feel like Sean Payton will not coach the New Orleans Saints in 2022. I could be wrong, I could be right, but my gut is telling me I think Sean Payton will be coaching elsewhere this upcoming season.
That was BMAC talking with our Amanda Guerra, and BMAC, I guess your gut does not lie. What was your gut whispering to you, and how did this come to fruition? That was 8 days ago, before we heard a lot of other national reporters say that this was a possibility.
Well, my gut was telling me at that time, Chris, that Sean Payton in New Orleans was pretty much over. We've heard rumors speculating with Sean Payton. Sean Payton, will he remain the head coach for the New Orleans Saints in years past, right? We've heard this it seems like almost every offseason we hear this regarding Sean Payton and New Orleans Saints as the head coach for the Saints. But this year, it felt a little different. And the reason why is because the structure wasn't in place like we've seen in years past. You know, the quarterback, Drew Brees, long gone. You lost your starting quarterback in Jameis Winston. Then you were kind of just playing musical chairs at the quarterback position. Sean Payton is an outstanding play caller, but he's a better play caller when he has a reliable guy at the quarterback position. And currently in New Orleans, they don't have that. They don't have that. So I felt like this would probably be the ideal time to cut ties from that said organization. And granted, that's a tough thing to do for Sean Payton because he's been with the Saints through thick and thin. When you look at the Katrina tragedy that happened years ago in 2005, 2006, leading into 2005 season, he rallied the city, brought energy to the city. You know what I mean? Made the Saints a reliable, competitive franchise, consistent, tough-minded, and now cutting ties. This is a huge blow to the New Orleans Saints organization and franchise. And I'm kind of disappointed that I was a little bit right because I feel like Sean Payton and New Orleans Saints should have been tied to the hip as long as possible, but currently it won't be that way going forward.
Was the head coach there since 2006. BMAC brought the franchise their only Super Bowl championship, won 63% of his games. You originally brought this up 8 days ago because we were talking about the best fits for the Chicago Bears, and that's when you brought up Sean Payton. Are the Bears his best fit, in your opinion, if he coaches elsewhere?
You know what? I believe Sean Payton is the coach. All the vacant options that are open right now, he would be the best fit because he is that type of mind when it comes to football. But we also have to understand and look at this situation, you know, with open eyes. Understanding and knowing who his mentor is, Chris. It's Bill Parcells. Bill Parcells and Sean Payton, they're tied to the hip. He looks up to Bill Parcells. If you look at what Bill Parcells did in his coaching career at one point in time, removing himself from an organization just to be able to go to another organization, I foresee the same thing potentially happening with Sean Payton. So basically, what we're seeing today is Sean Payton removing himself from the New Orleans Saints, but he already has a team in mind that he plans on coaching, that he would like to coach. You don't make this move out of nowhere unless you already have a quality option waiting for you. And Sean Payton is that guy, me personally. So there's not a fit that's not good for Sean Payton. It's all about what he wants to do, where he wants to coach. And I believe, Chris, he already knows exactly where he wants to coach and who's going with him. That's what my gut is telling me.
Does that mean, yeah, we're going to have to listen to your gut this time because you were right last week. Does that mean you think he's going to coach this upcoming season, next season, the 2022 season?
It's 50-50. As you stated with Pete Prisco, an organization will have to give up some type of draft capital to get Sean Payton, right? And looking at the open jobs right now, the teams that have the most to give definitely will be a quality suitor to get Sean Payton. So I'll tell you this much, Chris. Let me listen to my gut once again. There's 50-50, there's a 50-50 chance he will coach, right, this season. It's all about the draft capital and what the New Orleans Saints can get in return. But I'll tell you this for sure. Sean Payton is not walking away to never coach again. He will coach again. The biggest question is, will it be in 2022? But like I said, Chris, the move that we saw happen today, there's another move following that move. And you don't remove yourself from a sound structured situation unless you believe you have something better waiting for you. 3 years, $45 million is what he's walking away from. All the say-so over the organization, all the personnel decisions is going through him. If he walks away from this situation, that situation he had in New Orleans, he believes he has something better waiting for him, and eventually he will be able to show us all what that situation is. So my gut is telling me he may coach this year, he might not coach this year, but he already knows where he's going to coach when that time comes. You better believe it. And can I say something to you? I think it may be a team in the AFC.
You sound like a guy who actually knows what's good. Like your gut, I feel like your gut might actually know exactly where he's going. So an AFC team, all right, wheels are turning here. B-Mac, you've got so much, you didn't play for him, right? I mean, you played Pittsburgh in Arizona. You didn't play for Sean Payton, but I can tell you have so much respect for him. And we all know he's a great coach and he's widely respected. Why do you think, what has made him such a great coach in the NFL? And why do you think eventually he might end up in the Hall of Fame?
He's a player's coach. He's relatable to players, not just on the offensive end, but the defensive end as well. And I love his personality, just watching him as an opposing player, watching him as a fan of the game right now. He's an aggressive guy. You know what I mean? And his team, they have the same image that he has. When you watch them play with the energy, how physical they are. Think about this. We've seen oftentimes Sean Payton talking trash to opposing players. Most coaches don't do that. They stay in a shell. They don't get all the way involved. He's emotionally involved, cursing out opposing players, cursing out referees. We love that as players. He's authentic. Some guys, when they become a new head coach, they change who they are as an individual. Most players don't like that. Be who you are. Be who you was before you became the face of the franchise. And that's why we've seen so much success tied to Sean Payton. And I, for one, would love to see him continue to coach in the National Football League. That's good for the game. It's good for the sport because he's authentic and he does it his way. He does it his way. So I understand people saying he has TV deals waiting on him. No, Sean, stop that. Your personality, your character, it's not deserving to be in a studio. You can't get involved in the game like he does. Stay on the sideline. Stay on the sideline and keep cursing out opposing players who come at you the wrong way. We love that. That's what players love. So that's why I respect him. Number one, he has the numbers that commands respect. But you see how he goes about his job every day, and he does it the right way. And he's all about winning. So you have to respect that. Even if you're a rival of the New Orleans Saints or Sean Payton, at the end of the day, you respect greatness. And that's who he is as a coach.
That's Bryant McFadden, two-time Super Bowl champion. Ton of respect for Sean Payton. And he's got his ear to his gut. Last week, his gut said Sean Payton's not going to coach the Saints anymore. This week, his gut says he's going to coach somewhere else very soon. And he thinks it'll be in the AFC, not the NFC. Bryant, thank you so much for the time here on HQ. Inside the NFL is coming up tonight, 9:30 Eastern Time, streaming exclusively on Paramount+.